conference
for
will
our
now be
staff
recorded.
we work on the budget cycle with estimates from our vendor up through 1 October. But until we get all the open enrollment done and actual people actually sign up, as well as the actual insurance company says, this is your firm number as of 1 January when our insurance starts, that's what we go with. So that drives a budget discussion, a budget amendment that all municipalities are doing right now, because we got our real number as well as all the people that can sign up, have signed up. We can't adjust it. And that's driving based on insurance rates going up. And the issues with that is a uptick in our health, disability, and workers' comp type stuff that we need for our workers, our staff. So that really drives the totality of the amendment. Again, it just keeps our books in order. So when my auditor comes in here in spring, we're all in line and they can do a proper review and not say, why didn't you adjust this back when you knew about it? Just asking for the budget amendment approved. Doesn't change the budget, just actually, in this case, gives us more money in the total. At the end, you see there it's a positive. So.
I have a question on that last item. How do we miss an estimate by that much?
It's just that the estimate given to us in August, September of last year when we were on our current plan was, you're looking at the number that you had for the budget. They said, you need to tell us how many people are actually going to take you up on your health care of our 60 plus workers. So we estimate that, but we've had some new workers that actually want to get health care. They want to pay the health care, so they came on our rolls. And then when the insurance company did all their number crunching, that's the deal. That's the number they gave us. That gets us basically in line the rest of the year for paying our insurance. It's the only thing I would ask our insurance company, and Ariel's having these discussions, that we need a little bit more refinement, but it's just so early in the game in the insurance world that they don't go live to 1 January, so it's very hard for them to give us a firm number other than an estimate.
So would you say the bigger part of that adjustment is new employees or additional employees coming on?
No, you're exactly right.
Okay. That's a good
thing. I think
thing.
we added 7 to 8 new employees, and some have families. That obviously goes on our tax or our insurance rolls that we weren't anticipating till after open enrollment. That's a hard question to be asking, that you need to take the insurance. I'm going to charge you. We left it up to them. So.
I'll come back to the board in a minute, but is there any public comment?
Rhonda Barish. Just to clarify, Mr. Buzzer, you said that you turned, instead of security and code enforcement, they have a new name, but they still have the same job, correct?
Exactly, ma'am. Same role, same responsibility. So we just call it public safety. And,
Versus
and the majority of that team is dual rolled.
Okay.
That when I send a security guy out, he can also do code enforcement.
Okay.
Yes,
That's, I just want to make sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Randy Bauer, Savona. Boz, I had a question on you said that the golf had 120,000?
Yes, sir.
And we were going to add 80,000 to that if they approve it?
Yes, sir.
I thought we had 240,000 when we were looking at redoing the greens on Turtle.
Well, this is not tied to redoing the greens. So
this is a different budget?
Yeah, we started the budget 1 October using the fees that people pay to live on a golf course, and created the first time ever a golf reserve of $120,000. That's the golf reserve. We just started at this budget cycle. Dr. McLaughlin said we need to peel the numbers out. The board agreed. So we peeled that number out. Now we got the 88,000 from FEMA, and we're going to put that into the reserve rather than into the general. So the golf reserve that the board can direct how we utilize it will now be in the 200,000 range, or right over 200,000. That is not tied to the money allocated for the potential greens on Turtle. That's a separate number. That's a capital number that sits in the capital budget, not the golf reserve.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other public comment? Okay, any comment by the board? I have one question, Boz. You know, we talked in our meeting about the money from Warner? Which I would, if we do this, can we take that back and pay some of that money on the taxes that we owe, the back taxes? Or if we pass this, we can't touch that now?
So anytime we've done a financial transaction that involves a land transfer, we pay the taxes. So anything owed in that estoppel for that project, as well as any other thing, we do the foreclosures. We pay what's owed on county taxes. That's how we do business. Even with this lawsuit, even with what's going on, we do that.
Okay, why?
We are not paying what's the back taxes on other district parcels that wasn't a financial transaction, wasn't a sale, like the district office, is like the whatever.
Yeah.
We're not paying those taxes, back taxes, until this lawsuit comes to completion.
And that's what I was talking about,
Yes.
the back taxes.
Yep.
And I'm just concerned, and we have a difference of opinion on some of this, but we're going to owe $1.2 million in back taxes at the next year. And you think that it's up to 2018. Our county appraiser says it's from anything back. So it's a difference of opinion that might come out in a lawsuit. But in my mind, I'd like to pay this money that came from that sale towards our back taxes, so we cut it down, because we're facing every year 18% interest on the taxes that we haven't paid. And so I don't mind passing this. Matter of fact, I think it's a pretty good deal to get that down, but I wanna, is there a possibility that we could come in and pay that $280,000 next meeting or the meeting after towards back taxes? Is that possible?
I hear you, sir. I know where you're going. Where I would defer, I would have to ask our counsel, as well as Mr. Green, who's specifically in the lawsuit, and get their recommendation to bring back to you guys, is that if doing that would negatively impact the current lawsuit, then we would come with a recommendation to you, yes or no. It's doable. It's not tied to this budget amendment, and it's not tied to Unit 12. But you're wanting to throw money at the past due district property taxes that go back to 2018. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Or from back before that?
Back before that, whatever we owe. You want to put money towards
The
that.
bottom line is $1.2 million.
I got
mean,
you.
that's,
So let me get legal counsel to give us their recommendation after they do some analysis. I don't think she can give you an answer now. And then we'll bring that back to you in 2 weeks at the February board meeting. If that's the pleasure of the board, we can pay taxes. I just tell them, Mike just paid $34,000 in property taxes. That's one. We pay our property taxes that we are supposed to pay, not the stuff we should not be paying.
okay. So we need some direction from the board, is that what you're telling me?
I would say if you just get this budget amendment done, but you can follow it up with direct us that that's the analysis you want. I'll just bring it back to you in February anyway. I don't need direction. I know what you want.
Okay.
So I'll bring it back to you in February.
Well, it's really up to the board. I don't want to, it isn't up to me.
I got you.
What's everybody think on this?
Like to see our taxes get paid, and don't like paying 18% interest and the potential of losing the property just because we didn't pay the taxes, especially since we have that money in the bank.
That's all I need direction. You'll have some numbers in front of you in 2 weeks at the February board meeting.
Okay. So we're.
We just need a motion on this one, though. That's a separate topic.
Yes, we need a motion on this.
Motion to approve the budget amendment for 2026.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Supervisor Norton,
Yes.
Supervisor Phillips,
Yes.
Supervisor McLaughlin,
Yes.
President Gilpin,
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, discussion and possible motion to accept the Magnolia Golf Villas internal roads under district control and maintenance.
Right, so Magnolia Golf Village is one of our build-outs along Sun Lake Boulevard, 47 units. They're still in a build process. There's one segment that's not completed, but however, they have reached a point where the builder has divested from running the organization, transitioned it to the HOA. So that's where you see there. So the HOA, and this numbers is just to give you some knowledge of what they contribute to the district, even in the capacity as the HOA and individual residents. So they pay a pretty sizable amount of assessments to the district, and based on up till now, very little services. I'll say we give them utilities, we do the common areas, but we don't take care of the roads and so on. So Magnolia is about a third mile of roads, built to standard per the district guidance. And their HOA is asking, they're at a point in time where they would like to transition those roads to the district, so the district takes responsibility. Moving forward, I made it very clear that if that happens, then they fall under the district replacement and repair plan. There's no VIP, I need it every 5 years compared to the district every 30 years. They just fall under the same umbrella. Our engineer assesses it and so on. Their president understood that, was acceptable of that. They voted on it back in October. It costs us that much money towards the bottom there for if we had to redo their roads. These are brand new roads. I don't foresee us having to massively touch them for another 10, 15 years. And in the interim, they're paying, $38,000 a year to us. So to us as a district, they're putting their pound of flesh in, and we're going to respond accordingly with the right services. So I'm accepting of it. Just need the board directive, because what this would require is if you are accepting of taking the roads, then their HOA with their lawyer will have to provide us a, what's the language? Yeah, check. They'll work on that, give it to us. It'll be a contract that's signed by the president, and then we'll take it forward from there. And that's really, they just then fall under our umbrella for regular repairs and road replacement. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Any public comment?
Mark Camp, President. Thank you. I have a quick question. Hopefully somebody can answer this. I think it's the fact that they're paying $37,000, they're entitled to the roads and the services. However, I do have a couple of questions that pertains to an agreement that was made in August of 2020 with Hornick. And I believe in that agreement, they were responsible for all amenities as well as the roads. Okay. Now, where does this put places like Hampton Woods, who also pays a significant amount of money in assessments to the district, but yet we will not do their roads? That's question one. Question two is, if they become a gated community and we're not allowed in there, how does that affect also the paving? Because I know in Magnolia, when they were looking to do that as a gated community, we would be cutting off any responsibility for their roads. So if you can help me understand that, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
So on the first part of your question, any element, and we do have that as well as a segment of Magnolia that are still, they own their own segment of the road. We're not responsible for those portions, but the majority, 98% of the district, we take care of the roads. It would have to be an ask, an agreement, and then we assume responsibility under our position. The issue with the builder, if the builder was still involved in the decision-making for the entity, the entire complex, then I would have had a different take on this, because then we need to hold him accountable to finish the buildings of the entire project before we as a district would entertain taking over the roads. He's already divested from that. He's transitioned power to the HOA. So this is the residents asking, can we take over with an agreement signed, and then they'll be under our rules. Pertaining to the gated, any gated community that wants to become gated at this point in time, no one in the district is on the books right now with a previous agreement saying they are a gated community. They just haven't put a gate in. Nobody. If any community, any part of Sun Lake would want to be gated, they would have to come to the board. The board would then have to make that decision. And if we allowed it, even though the county doesn't allow it for gated communities, If we even thought about allowing it, we would have a contract just in the reverse saying, now you're responsible for your roads. Now you're responsible for everything, even though you pay assessments. So it would be a reverse action. I don't think we'd have any communities wanting to do that. But it could be a discussion. So right now, I specifically mentioned gating here. There's no endeavor or effort to put gates here. They just want the roads taken care of and resurfaced on a timely manner. And they like us doing it. So. Yeah. Good.
Any repeat public comment?
Well, actually, it's a follow-up to one of the questions I asked and it didn't get answered.
Sir, yeah.
How does this affect Hampton Woods?
Hampton Woods has not approached us at all on anything other than they pay assessments. We provide whatever services required. They would have to do the same process. They would have to come to us and say, do you want to take over our roads?
I think they have done that. That's why I'm wondering why.
They've never talked to me about that. No, sir.
Not you, but previous
Yeah.
general managers.
I would offer whoever's from Hampton Woods, come talk to me.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public comment? Any comment from the board?
This is just for reference, that the yellow segment is built, the one segment there is not built. The discussion amongst the HOA is that either the builder will continue to build those 4 units, or the HOA will take it upon themselves to either build those units, make it green space. So they're accepting of a not complete project, and they're wanting just the roads to be off their plate so they can focus their energies accordingly. Just for your reference.
Any comment by the board? Buzz, I did have a question after our discussion yesterday on the empty lot. If they don't, and you said they would do something with it, would they be assessed for 2 lots or 1 lot?
Well, right now they're getting assessed for 4 parcels, not developed but on road, so about $400 a parcel.
But I meant further on, if they decide not to build on that, would there be an assessment on this, whatever they do with it?
Yeah, whatever it becomes, yes, sir. We're
Okay.
assessing them now. Those empty lots are being assessed now, even in the build status. If they transition it to even just green space, we would appropriately put them in that category. If they built something, it would be in that category. So yes, they are getting assessed.
Okay, thank you. Any other comment by the board? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the acceptance of a 1/3 of a mile internal road for Magnolia Place.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Melissa?
Supervisor Phillips,
Yes.
Supervisor McLaughlin,
Yes.
Supervisor Norton,
Yes.
President Gilpin.
Yes.
And the bottom statement will be in the motion, sir, just so you know. Pending the completion of a survey, legal description, we'll bring you a
Right.
contract, and you'll sign it probably in the next 30 days.
Very good.
Thank you much.
Add-on items,
We have nothing, sir.
petitions and communications.
Had a lot of communications this past, over the holidays and into the year. We have our letter on insurance liability from PRM, which is our insurance carrier. They were asking for assistance to send to our legislators about the impending possibility of massive insurance rate increases with the state. So we did support that. It's in your packet. We sent a letter to Senator Grahl and Representative Tuck on our behalf. I do annual vendor assessment letters of our major vendors that we spend a lot of money with. The Troons, the Infomarks, the big players that we deal with. I annually basically give them a report card from my seat. Those are in the packet. And we are very frank in our discussions of where I'm dissatisfied or they're not living up to either the language of the contract or whatnot. And they act accordingly after that. So they're in the packet. I just do that annually. Mr. Kramer, letters in there because that was submitted to the board. So you have that. The letter that was responding, this was the citizens brought to me. The letter of response from the governor's office is in the packet for your reading pleasure. The last thing came in this week. We had our 2 interns, I'll call them, from Thailand and Cambodia. They submitted their request for projects in their countries, and there was 40 projects submitted to the U.S. State Department. They approved 3 projects. by the State Department, and one was our project. So we were awarded that, and I say we, Sunny Lake was recognized as awarding that. We won that project, the project that is in Thailand. So this is Watt, if you remember that young gentleman. He presented a project from his very short time here and how he interacted with our staff, the board, our team, our residents. He presented a project that, in his mind, in his country, there's a better way to run local government that's close to the population as well as rural. And he's thinking he saw that in how we operate. And I'm very proud about that because I think that's what we do very well. So he's going to present that. He won that. And the ask is that a staff member, they kind of want me, I'll see the schedule. A staff member will go over to Thailand for the week, talk from everything to their country's president down to their prime minister and everything to explain how we as a local government in the United States interact with our citizens, present products, and do government interaction. So we got awarded that, and it was very good on his behalf. Congratulations to him. So that's in the packet for your reading pleasure. Now legal.
That it?
That's it.
Okay.
Lot of reading for you.
Okay, staff reports. I think Janice, you're next.
Is my, oh, it's on. Good morning, everyone. Just a few things to report on today, just what we've been working on with staff. Number one, we've been working with the finance department on delinquent assessment collection policies and procedures, just to make sure that they're being applied consistently, and if there are questions from residents or landowners who have questions about some of their delinquent assessments, then staff is has information and able to give to them. So we're going to be finalizing that with the finance director probably in the next week or so. I've been working also with BOZ negotiating the a memorandum of understanding with Clearwave Fiber for the fiber optic cable project that they want to put in, just putting some things in place so they understand what the district needs are prior to starting this project. So working on that, we've sent them a draft, things like pricing and their responsibilities to the district. So it's very clear even before they start this project what they need to do. The other thing I can update you on is the lawsuit against the county appraiser, still set for motion to dismiss in March. Richard is beginning to collect some of the discovery. So that should be starting after the motion to dismiss. We believe we have a very strong position. So that will begin in earnest after we get a ruling on the motion to dismiss. And then, so we will be reaching out to maybe some of you for information, and definitely the district and staff. Just a reminder as we move into the discovery phase that just be mindful of any communications that you do have with the property appraiser, county officials, as those things can tend to be incriminating and can be seen as a statement against interest for the district. So if you have any questions about that, we're happy to answer that. And that's all I have.
Is there any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. If the lawsuit is dismissed, are we prepared to pay the property taxes that we owe at that point?
That's a question for BOZ.
Yeah, yes, sir. We have the reserves. We'll bring that to you. If we're talking March, we'll bring that to you in April, and you guys will make the decisions how to do it, or we'll work out a plan with the county. Yes, sir.
I have a question for legal. I would like, because I've been a resident for 28 years, I would like a copy of our charter that you highlighted that said that we have to do what we're doing today, instead of we deciding who will be our president and vice president.
Yes.
And I would like to take that to my lawyer in Orlando. So,
sure. And let me just give you some context on that.
Janice,
I was
could you
surprised
speak
too. Yeah.
Closer.
Oh, sorry. I was surprised too when I think you all saw my surprise at the last meeting where I was informed that the landowners select the president and vice president. I thought that was, I couldn't understand how that happened. But I did look at your policies, and your policies say exactly that. The president.
the original charter.
Not the charter, it's your policies and procedures. Your policies and procedures say that the board president and vice president shall be selected at the landowners meeting. We believe this was a holdover from when all of the supervisors were appointed by, at the landowners meeting. Since, I guess, since then, now you have some who are voted in the general election and some at the landowners meeting. The policies and procedures were never updated. We saw that. We're going to update it. The charter restricts any changes to the policies regarding voting 90 days out. So we missed that
Yes.
window. I have two proposed revisions for that for BOS to come back. I don't like it either. I don't like the way it's drafted, but unfortunately, this board is not seated at the landowners meeting. So the only interpretation we can make of that section is if the board president and the board vice president have to be appointed at the landowners meeting, it's inferred that the landowners make that selection. Again, it's not ideal. We
It's
need to change
inferred.
it. It's the only interpretation that we can make. It's not ideal. I don't particularly like it, but if you're looking at the plain language of the policy, if it's at the landowners meeting, the only people who can act at the landowners meeting are the landowners, unfortunately. So for the next
So
election
what
cycle,
are-
that will be changed.
So what are our legal standings for the last 28 years that we've been doing it wrong?
Well,
That I've been here.
you know, I don't know. I know that you must have at some point had all of you, the supervisors were appointed or elected at the landowners meeting. When did it change over that you had qualified electors or in a general election? Does anybody know when that happened?
Oh, it's 20 years ago.
Since then, nobody's caught it, nobody's seen it, everybody's just, following along. The board is obligated to comply with their policies and procedures. They hadn't been updated. Had we seen this 90 days in advance, it would have been changed. It did not, wasn't pointed out until that point in time.
I repeat my question. Are we legally bound for any mistakes that we left in the last 28 years?
No.
Because of interpretation?
Right, it's been the practice, the past practice, and there's no grounds for liability.
You'll be brought the new language that we're recommending to make that change in February.
Yeah.
For the five of you to vote the policy change.
Is there any other discussion? I have a couple questions. I think clearly the supervisors aren't happy with this at all, and but I guess that's the way if that's what we have to do. But I wish that we could have been notified of this instead of just thrown on like it was. But that's what it is. So I would like to request, and I don't know if I need to get 3 supervisors to agree with me, but I'd like you or Boz to give everyone, plus the new supervisor, a copy of our charter.
Oh, sure.
Because it seems to me like there's a lot of this charter crap coming up. I don't, the wrong word is crap, but there's a lot of this coming up, and I think we need to look at that and make some changes if this board needs to, because it's just not.
Yeah, something's wrong.
It's just not acceptable, some of this
No.
stuff, and
Absolutely.
we don't hear about it until too
So,
late.
It's just
and,
wrong.
So I would request that, if you could get that to us.
sure, absolutely. And
Okay.
I just want to make the distinction. There is the charter, the district charter that's in the county code of ordinances that created the district. This board has no authority to change the charter, but the charter allows this board to adopt policies and procedures, which the board has, and the board has discretion to change those policies and procedures. So I'll send you the charter and the policies and procedures so you can see it. And we've, when we came on, one of the things we did was start looking at those policies. And as you recall, the first section we brought forward was the procurement one and our recommendations. The next section will be this elections. We'll bring that forward for recommendations. And there are 3 or 4 other sections of the policies that we think are outdated and need to be updated. So that was definitely part of our role when we came in, to look through all of your policies and procedures and update them and make sure they're consistent with the law and your practices.
Thank you.
And I know there's not everything we can change, but we certainly can go talk to people that can change it. Because I know some is the commissioners.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
nothing wrong with me going to a commissioner and say, change this.
Yeah,
So
Absolutely.
I like to have what we can change and what commissioners
you can
change or
change.
however we do it.
Sure.
But the
just-
board
yeah.
needs to decide that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. I will send both the charter and
Policy
the
and
policies
procedure.
and procedures to you.
Okay. Any other comment?
No, thank you.
Okay, Boz?
A lot of things going on in the district. We get weekly updates as well as we talk to our residents. Street lights are we're almost 99%. There's about 4 or 5 that we are replacing or adjusting, I should say, not replacing. We put out the state of the district report that's online as well as hard copy. I think there's some copies out there up front there. So this is our summary of all the things going on in the district that was put out in the December timeframe for residents' use as well as board members. So hopefully that was helpful for anyone. We are working right now with our district engineer on our 2026 road repair resurfacing plan. That'll probably come out in March. We don't usually do the work until the June timeframe because just the amount of contractors that are available to do that work. We use a piggyback contract with Sebring, so we'll get that out to y'all. Still focused across the district. There's really not no one area we're going to put energy on, so we're going to touch all the failing roads or across the district. But you'll get that report. Our racket courts were done. The final project was done with the addition of the not only the tennis but the 4 what I call temporary pickleball courts that gives us the capability to have 18 total pickleball courts with our temporary nets. That drove the ability that, and one of the supervisors in Norton was on a call with us with the U.S. Senior Pickleball, so United States level, national level senior pickleball, and they are working right now with us to host a tournament, national level tournament in the summer and in the fall. So we're going to hit the lower density time frame in the summer, and then we'll hit when all our snowbirds come back in the fall. So this will be a national level event. They'll help run it. They bring their money, they bring their time and effort, and we just help with some volunteers. And the only reason we can do that because we need 18 courts, and we're the only place that has 18 courts in Highlands County. So that's a good news story for Sun and Lake. The Clearview Fiber, we're working a contract with that. So right now there's been a displeasure across many residents with our options for or internet as well as TV service and so on. We basically are hamstrung that only Comcast is internal to Sun and Lake, maybe a Starlink or something like that. Clearview Fiber, they will be here in February. They're going to give you the full briefing. Clearview Fiber is a very reasonably priced fiber optic level company that is getting their foot in the door of Florida. They're also engaging Sebring and a little bit of Avon Park, southern side of Avon Park. They're laying out a plan of how they can provide a fiber line as well as service to all homes using their service. It's not going to be mandatory, but we're working with them because they're going to be in our roadways, in our easements. We're going to have to work on the permitting and so on. So more to follow on that with a briefing in February's board meeting, and they'll explain some of their cost rates. Just looking at what they sent us, it's like $30 a month. They offer, massive unlimited fiber optic connections to your house. So I think that'll be a good option for our residents to have with their displeasure with some of the other opportunities. We're talking right now, I know we're talking about the snack shack. We've been talking that for years. It really ties us to a certain footprint that only addresses a certain focus of people. They're stuck right there. There's not really good parking for residents to roll up there. They'd have to park in the district. They'd have to walk over. So it's a little challenging of an area there. In that discussion, we're seeking options are we at a point in time that the district has a more mobile footprint? Because we do a lot of events that we ask for outside vendors to come in and support us, and they take the money and they go. If we had a food truck type setup where our restaurant runs it, our cook's in there, our staff is in there, and then they can support our own events, be it with an alcohol truck or just cooking a similar menu with our restaurant, it gives us the opportunity to expand our ability to address events, services across Sun and Lake, and then eventually once we work out our bugs and kinks and get our processes down, it's a marketing opportunity for us to send the Island View Oasis food truck to a downtown Sebring, to a Lake Placid event, and it's marketing Sun and Lake with our food and our vendors. So we're researching that. I'll be bringing that to you once we get some more information to lay out the options between, do you want to go hard on a snack shack? Do you want to do another opportunity there? But it's all in the effort to expand our message, expand our market, and to get more revenue in for our amenities. FASD, which is our Special Association District, they're up in Tallahassee right now. They're providing weekly legislative updates. You'll be getting those today, and I'll push those out to that. A lot of talk about property taxes, a lot of talk about the level of sovereign immunity increase that could impact us. So right now, you can only take a district, a city, town, or village, and take them to a lawsuit, and the cap is 250, 350, something. Yeah. So right now, anyone that sues us for anything, that's the cap. The state set that cap, and it's good. And we've abided by that, obviously, by state law and whatnot. The discussion at the state level is some lawmakers are wanting to elevate that cap. So if someone sues a city, town, or village, or a district, the cap will be increased into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially the $1 million range. Nothing's firm on that, but just be advised that that
Wow.
could impact us negatively with future lawsuits once the dust all settles. So FASD is involved in that, as well as the county people that represent the counties and the cities and towns and villages, all really fighting against that would bankrupt a lot of communities by taking that cap up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
marijuana use for employees, that's always a perennial topic. And as our state goes down the path of widening that aperture of what we allow and should allow and so on, I'll definitely be working with our legal and our HR department, but we'll be bringing that to you, that just to update you that may be
There we go.
dictated to us by state law, you know? So what is, we still do drug testing, we still do appropriate stuff at our levels, but just advise that that's having a bigger discussion at the state level. And then the this is an admin thing. 2 years ago, they approved that every year the Sun and Lake and all the districts has to provide them an annual assessment. We do it, we post it online. It takes maybe 10 minutes of time. It's really not a struggle, but for some reason they spend hours talking about it at the state level, and that may be eliminated because a lot of districts don't want to do that paperwork. So just be advised of that. Property tax is going to be the big one. You all hear about what's going on. Here's the good news story from our perspective, even with all the doom and gloom. We operate a $19+ million budget with our district, with our residents, with our homes, and we don't get $1 in property taxes. And we are very successful in doing that. The property taxes that everyone here pays goes to the county. They're the ones screaming, that they're going to be having issues. But it's surprising to me, as put my professional trained hat on, it's surprising to me that there are successful models of not doing property taxes and charging people appropriately, that the barn's not going to burn down. And they don't want to look at that. That's what you see on the news, that you see there. So you need to have an educated discussion about this, because what probably is going to happen is that starting next year, they will up the homestead rate from the 50,000, 25,000 now to probably 100K. It'll be added 100K every year. So after about 3 years, no one in Sun and Lake will be paying any taxes, property taxes, to the county, homestead, yes, homestead, to the county, except for your school stuff. Again, that won't affect anything we do within our borders at all.
Yeah.
It'll affect how our county supports you as well as us, and that's the real discussion to have. So more to follow on that as we get more information, and you'll see it in the news how it's affecting us. We can definitely get the right experts in here to better explain that to you guys if you need to, but more to follow on that one. Here's your initial plans for Clearview Fiber. So as you see, there's some areas that have been initially omitted, and this is not because they're not going to go there. I'm talking like the Unit 4, the Preserve, a little bit northern side of the Preserve, our commercial areas. This is for them to get the pipeline, they call it, into Sun and Lake, and then they start starbursting it up to all our areas. Their goal in the next 18 to 24 months is that every lot in Sun and Lake will have access to a fiber line at their discretion. Even our people out past Cortez. It'll be running the easement in front of their house, And if they want to tap into it, they can tap into it. But this shows you initially they're going to be coming in, working with our utility department, laying in some of the fiber lines in our easements along our roads. They'll be paying the permitting fees. We'll be overseeing the work, doing the locates, helping them do all that stuff. It's a great initiative. This is a small portion of it. As you see there, 37 miles of fiber, 2,200 customers or homes initially passed. When you add Sebring and you add a little bit of Avon Park, I think their total program is like 9,000, 10,000 homes. So we're getting a good chunk of those right here. So that's going to be a good thing. This has been discussion tied to just the previous thing. This was asked at some of the town halls with our residents. So, and I know we spent a lot of time on it with a couple residents wanting to know what is the county property tax? What is that? This clearly from the charter that the county created for us 52 years ago. On the left-hand side is everything in charter that we, as a Sun and Lake, this board is empowered to do, is allowed to do, and has the ability to enforce. And the one thing we're really not doing, because we kind of ceded that a few years ago, is fire protection. Even though in the charter it still says. So in the charter, if we really wanted, you guys tell me stand up a fire department, we could. It's still in our charter. No one changed it. But we don't do that. The county does it for us, and we're satisfied with that. But everything else to the top of that on the left is straight out of charter. To the right side is what the county does for us per charter. And in red is our staff commentary of that's the issues we have. And we work with our county all the time. Permitting, planning and zoning, subdivision of land, the trash collection. We pay extra. All the Sun and Lake residents pay extra for that. So it's not in your property taxes. We pay extra for fire protection. All the residents pay extra for that. So it's not in your property taxes. The top part is the sheriff. The sheriff comes out of property taxes. Got it. And we've talked to him about that. For him to do dedicated coverage is close to the $1 million range. All right. We either pay for it ourselves or we just let our county taxes pay for it. At the bottom, as you see there, are some of the things that happen just because the nature of government in county. They do our driver's licenses. They do our courts. They run our courts for us. So there's a lot of stuff the county does at varying levels, how it impacts you as a resident. And I think we all need to understand that. That's what our $5+ million that every resident here pays the county is going to. So once you understand that, now you can have a very informed discussion of, are we getting the value for the $5 million? That's the start point of the discussion. We're giving you $5 million, we accept that, but are we getting $5 million worth of value back? And that's the discussions we as a board, as a staff, as residents need to have with our county officials to drive that discussion. So just wanted to be clear because there was a lot of people saying, you know, they do mosquito control. They do your roads. No, they don't. That's what we do. To include code enforcement, that's what we do. So. And then the one based on why we have a lawsuit, for those of you that continue to question that, in their charter, in their language, in what they created for us 52 years ago, that's what it says. All assets and properties, and I'm going to say it because it needs to be on the record. All assets and properties of the district, all bonds issued, all hereunder, and the interest paid therein, and all fees, charges, and other revenues derived by the district property and projects provided for hereby revenues shall be exempt from all taxes by the state and any political subdivision. Done. It's that. They wrote that. I didn't write that. You didn't write that. You didn't write that. It just aggravates the hell out of me that people don't understand that.
Obviously.
So that's the start point. We pay on stuff we make money on. My golf course, my clubhouse. That's a revenue producing thing, sir. We pay taxes on that. But that's straight out of county charter. That's why we have a lawsuit. I'll get off the soapbox. All right, our meeting schedule. Sir, you had a question? I don't want to go past if you have a question on that. Mr. President, you had a question?
I just questioned, you had an opinion on that, but we lost it once already, so I don't know what happened.
Can't help how you lost it, who you hired, who
So
you had.
I don't know if we're gonna have to lose 2-3 times before
I got you,
we
sir.
get it.
I got you.
Okay.
All right, our meeting schedule. We do have a February 3rd meeting. It's going to be at 5:30 in the afternoon, so we're back on track. So it truly is 2 weeks from now. I will get the agenda for that meeting out next Tuesday. We're supposed to publish it early. So what I would put some thought into y'all, what topics you want to be on there, because it's going to be a very short time for us to craft up our agenda in our packet. And then we go into our regular scheduled meetings. There's no holidays until April the 3rd, so I'm not worried about that. Everything else is just regular schedule for staff and for the district. Our Troon update, in your packets, you see one thing. Troon gave me a late-breaking email. I wanted to make sure they get credit for the Troon side of that slide. So in the past month, the district did the stuff on the right, and I say the district, everything from Mike on down, as well as district staff. We focused our energy there. On the left-hand side is where our Troon, our corporate contractor, assisted or took a lead on. So some of those endeavors. So this is the ongoing assessment that you all asked for. And I'd say in the next 2 to 3 months, or 2 months, I will compile the past 6 months, and I'll bring you a recommendation again from the staff on that. All right. Projects, you have the seawall, you have, and that's pre-seeding. You have our courts getting resurfaced. This is a water main line that's being replaced and worked on in some of our district areas. So a lot of work going on. A lot of work. Here's the restriping. Here's the spraying of our seawall area. We decided to go with spray because we had some time for it to grow, and it saved us over $50,000 inside, and we didn't need to rush it. So we went that route with it. Wastewater is moving forward. I have a site visit next Tuesday, or the day before the board meeting, sorry. I'll take the utility manager, I'll take the engineer, and our project manager. We're going up to the Jacksonville area. This is a sample project site that what they want to build for us, they're recommending. So we'll do a site visit and see if it meets all our requirements and needs. A lot of work going on out there. You just don't notice it. If you go out Granada, they're doing core samples, they're doing surveying, they're doing topography, they're doing all the mitigation assessments. So part of our contract with them, they're working that. We're still looking for in the probably late spring, early summer, they will come back to the district with their ask for the next phase. And after legal will review it, and then we'll present that if you want to continue forward with the Haskell engineers, or we put it out for another RFP, whatever we decide, that'll come later, mid-year, for the next phase to get us to the level. The only update tied to that, in February, DEP is hosting their funding event that our packet is going to be before them for ask of the $54 to $60 million grant or loan. But we were quickly notified by DEP that they were told no money is available for that meeting. They're going to review packets. They're going to rack and stack them and rank them. So we will be at that meeting. We'll participate because it's a big deal. I don't want to do that by voice, by email. But they made it very clear they will not issue money out, but they will issue money out in the late July meeting based on that packet recommendation. So we're not going to know if we got our grant approved or not in February. DEP came back, but we will know later in the summer if it's going to be a grant or a loan. And the main part of that, we're good if it's a loan, no problem. We built in our finances where we can pay that back for over 20 years. The reason why the grant opportunity came up is because using the state numbers that DEP uses, they consider us under the population cap and under the average household income cap. So because of those two needs, then we have the ability that some of the $60 million could be a forgivable grant that we don't have to pay back, which would be great. And then we can reassess the whole project. But we won't know that till that meeting. And then we can have a discussion coming back. But that's for the plant. What we assessed, what we're doing now, that's for the other $30 million of this project to put in the lines, to put in the services, and so on. So that's going to continue on its glide path. And this is the numbers in your packet, how they did the assessment. Trash is going to be another discussion. This is the last year of the contract with the county. I'm pressing them early this year that they need to tell us what the rates are going to go up on 1 October. They usually wait till September to tell us, and then we're locked in. They need to tell us as early as possible because the discussion will be up to you. Do we stay with the county trash coverage program? Here's the rate. Or we go with the vendor that won the bid last year, postponing it another year. Do we either rebid it or go with that vendor for a firm rate that we control? That'll be a discussion for you guys. Same service, exactly. It's just that service will be us managing the contract and not a county oversight for the entire county contract. That needs to be a firm discussion because we've been told right now, and it was brought up again at a county town hall 2 weeks ago, that the rates have gone through the roof when it comes to trash collection, comes to the county landfill, that the 230, whatever it is, we're paying right now, 229, that we're paying right now per house, will probably go into the $300-400 range per year. Just, that cost is going through the roof. So we need to have the opportunity, you all, the opportunity to stay or go, and do our own thing. So,
Question.
yes, sir.
This says 229 per month on that.
Per year, I apologize. Yeah, yeah.
The second thing, I've been told by more than one person that we might not be able to remove ourselves from the county contract for trash. Is that a thing?
It's a discussion that we're having.
If you have communications with your county commissioners, I recommend you bring this up. So pursuant to the county code of ordinances, the county is responsible for trash collection in the unincorporated area of the county, which the district is considered unincorporated area of the county. However, that same section of the code allows entity to file for an exemption. So we have the paperwork. It's a very simple form. It goes to the county administrator to file for an exemption. So when we have that discussion, if there's direction to file for an exemption with the county, then, by all means, call up your connections in the city commission or the county commission and the county administrator to see if they will approve that exemption. And that would clear the road for the district to hire its own contractor for waste removal.
We haven't filed that, waiting on guidance from you guys, how you want me to take it. All right. Let's continue with trash. That would be again, I just need some thought into that. When the new board's seated, we need to really earlier have that discussion, because I now need to start talking to Lori at the county and give them the heads up and do whatever we got to do. Sub to your questions, that's all I got on the GM. The 25K is the 25K, the usual suspects, insurance, the consolidated credit card payments that come into one bill, Duke Energy, our power bill, so nothing out of the norm there. The Max Environmental was the last big payment. This was a 2-year ago project for doing all our manhole covers. They're done now. That was the last big payment.
Mhm.
So all Tanglewood's done, and the majority of Sun Lake is all done. Now they're putting together for me what's the next level of manhole covers, as well as water removal segments that need to be resealed or rebuilt or so on. Golf, I think the minutes are in your packets, not presented here, but they had a meeting. I attended the meeting. We have a new chairman for the golf committee. It'll be subject to the new president if they stay or go. So that'll be a discussion for the future. But they had a good meeting, good information. Staff was there, and we'll try to participate moving forward in the golf committee. And that is all I got, sir. It's up to your questions.
Anything else from anybody? Can I ask a question of Mike?
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Mike, I saw a report on memberships. Is a 1-month membership considered a membership?
Yes, that is correct. There are different.
Okay.
There
Well,
are different
I just saw there
benefits
was
to
an
it.
increase in memberships, but I also know we have a 1, 2, 4, 3, 4,
Right.
5. So, okay, that's all. Thank you. That's a tough one, wasn't it? Anything else?
I think we did built in public comment on any of the staff reports, just.
Right, right. Now,
We got some public comment.
do we have public comment again?
Oh, we got lots of public comment.
Good morning, Mark Harmon again. Mr. Baez, where do we stand with the Advent Hospital expansion?
We just had a meeting this week with the engineers. So there's 2 projects going on with Advent. You all hear the project with the expansion, going up a 3rd story, some adjustments in parking. That's on track. We support it. We're working with them. That's on track for completion in the next 12 to 18 months. Now you take the project that they're calling the doctor nurse housing / amenity, pickleball, indoor pickleball, whatever they want to build for their community. We had a meeting this week. They're now looking, they own land on Frontage Road. Everything on Frontage behind the hospital is owned by the hospital.
Mhm.
We own all the land on the flip side, south of our wastewater plant. In the discussion, once they went back to their engineers, they're looking at, for visibility off of 27 and for access to the hospital, they are asking, can they build on their land, which they can obviously, on that side, so the project would be on their land, but we would still be in the driver's seat when it comes to utility hookup and infrastructure. It's the same, it's just not on our land anymore. So that's, I think, their CEO wants to lean that way. So we were fine with that. We asked them for some schematics and some renderings of what their footprint looks like, because what will have to be mitigated there is more stormwater with the rural water folks and the Swift Mud people, nothing to do with environmental mitigation with scrub jay or anything like that. If it's on our land, there's some scrub jay mitigation as well as water. If it's on their land, it's all water. So they're moving forward. They owe us some documents. They've already submitted the packet through the county for their analysis, and we're working with the county on that feedback. So if it's on their land, there is no agreement per se on sales or rental or lease for $1. That's off the table. But there is a discussion that they will build all the infrastructure to our standards at their cost, and we'll get that in a contract. The roads, curb and gutter, street lighting will all be on and they're accepting of this, and that's the language of the contract we're writing right now.
Okay. Will we also get assessments on any of the
They get
properties?
assessments on, yeah, yes.
Okay.
Consider them all individual 2-bedroom condos. That's what they'll get assessed, very similar to Edgewater right here.
Okay. All right. One last question too. We had a discussion regarding the 250th anniversary. Nothing was said in your report about that. And I'm just wondering, can we make it public where we can go ahead and get volunteers to
Sure.
get involved?
And yes, in February, you're going to get more details on that. But we started a citizen committee on the 250th. The 250th Salute to America is happening for us 3 July. That's when we do our fireworks show at that night, the 3rd of July. So we're looking at it from a district perspective as a full day of events, starting with a 5K race in the morning, golf tournament, pickleball tournament, carnival rides, all that fun stuff all day long. It'll happen on 3 July. And we're right now working with citizens, working with staff to build a product very similar to like we did with the wall. I'll bring that to you guys in February, give you a concept idea. We've already budgeted money in the 2026 budget for it. And right now we're shooting for about $50,000 in donations. We've already got $10,000, $12,000 in donations to help support it. So it's out for public consumption, but the board will first see it conceptually after we work out some kinks in February to get any tweaking or input. Yes, sir. 3 July, just mark your calendars, the whole day, 3 July. I got something for you to do.
It's in the packet. It's in the packet. Right? I said your outline for the July 4th is in the packet, is it not?
There's something in there, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's an outline of what you're proposing, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. I really wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Golf and restaurant. I'm going to remind the board, who never discusses this whatsoever, that last year, totally, they lost $200,000 to the year before. This year, if you look at the first 2 months, golf is holding its own due to the 10% increase that we gave the membership. It's running about even. But the restaurant is negative 23,000 compared to a plus of 20,000, I think, last year. So it's about a $43,000 swing already in the first 2 months. I was just worrying or just wondering if the board had any concerns over that. Does anybody have any plans over that? Is it going to continue? Is it not going to continue? But to me, it's a red flag on the restaurant. Thank you.
So to that point, I discuss individually when board members ask, in between meetings, when they come by, we chat about that. Next month, you'll see, or the February meeting, you'll see the first quarter numbers across all the districts. The biggest issue I'll say with our golf and our clubhouse operations, more so clubhouse operations, restaurant, is, you were mentioning the first 2 months. I lumped December in there because we already have our numbers. We pay out a lot of money in December for taxes and insurance, close to $40,000. And it comes out of that budget. So that automatically makes that month a negative, just conceptually, that month. So we know that. We had the same amount of events, I'll say, in the December, November timeframe, but we found that the events had lesser participation. So nothing that we can do as a district. It's just the events that signed up to partake and use our space brought less people, hence less revenues and less plates and so on. We're aware of that. We're tracking that. I mean, other than working with them and knowing that, we really can't do it. And the one big loss, I'll say, Advent Hospital, they have an active restaurant, they have a kitchen. They have a major cafeteria. They, for financial reasons, are wanting to do some of their bigger events in-house at their hospital. Easier for their doctors to get there, so on and so forth. So that was a major event in December that did not happen because they moved it back to the hospital. Still stayed in Sun Lake, but in the hospital. So, Mr. Brody, you as well as all the residents know, we are tracking that almost daily. I'm working with the team down there daily. We talk about the numbers and what we're making and not making. And then we provide the data to the board, and I'm having more of those discussions one-on-one. But we can always open them up to discussion if you want to deep dive here. No issue with that. But we're watching it. I'm not worried right now. It's only 3 months into the year.
And all I'll say is that a lot of things that go on, it takes 3 votes for us to change anything. So that has a lot to do with how much we get involved. So go ahead, Mr. Gross.
Hi, Brian Gross. Heard earlier that the board had requested copies of the charter and policies and procedures. Think that's a wonderful idea. A little surprised that maybe you didn't already have that information. However, President Gilpin, you said something earlier about you can talk to county commissioners. So I just wanted some clarification from maybe Janice. With 2 governing bodies having a dependency on either or relationship, I know that joint meetings are perfectly fine, open to the public and things like that, but I'm questioning any private conversations, whether that be email, phone call, or in private. I would think you would want to protect yourself from any kind of scrutiny on if that's improper or not. So I just wanted you to kind of address that, because I wouldn't want any board member to put themselves in that kind of position where it raises some red flags. So.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for raising that. The board speaks through a majority of its members. If the board takes a position, they would like to appoint one person from the board to act as a spokesperson for the district's official policy. You would have a vote at the meeting to make official discussions. And my comment, perhaps a bit hasty, was you are absolutely right. Each individual member doesn't speak for the board. As I said, the board speaks to a majority of its members. But as I understand it, some board members have personal relationships with the county commissioners. And if it is a board policy or board direction to move forward with one angle, and that's where, again, we'd have to have a unified approach. My comment was meant more as in response to comments that, that some board members talk to county commissioners on a regular basis. So I will withdraw my recommendation that you reach out to county commissioners, and let's just all be cautious, exactly as the resident pointed out, that you wouldn't want to raise any liability or bad responses on behalf of the district if you're not speaking on behalf of the district's official policy. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi there. I'm going back to something that you said just a little bit ago about changing the policy and procedure and everything for the board, because, for our community. Will that happen? Who is going to be there? And will the board be there to see and know exactly what's going to happen, so they're not blindsided yet again by, oh, well, this said this and this said this? Because last meeting prompted that discussion on them not being able to pick the president and vice president. That was driven by a group of people here. So for the changes in policy, my question is very specific. Will they as a whole, as the board, be a part of this change and be made aware and have an opinion or at least understanding without whoever is going to be? Because I want to know who's going to make those decisions. Because obviously, if you're making changes to a policy that's 28 years old or whatever you said it was, they need to be made aware. It can't be made by people that have only been here for a short period of time. They do represent our community, and it can't just be a backdoor meeting.
Is it on now? As we did with the purchasing, review of the purchasing policies, we'll bring it to the board, have a discussion, propose some changes. This is a decision that will be made by the board at a public meeting in compliance with the Sunshine Law.
But my question wasn't answered. Who is making the decision and who's driving the changes in the policies?
The board,
But you're going to draft up something to present to them.
yes.
You and who else?
I will, based on the comments that I've had from the board and,
So it'll be just you, not like the general manager or any other staff members that will be with you to make these changes?
it will be just me from a legal point of view. It will be up to the board to determine, whether to accept that legal recommendation. As for
Okay.
policy, I don't have any, these are, the changes I make will just be to make it consistent with the law.
Okay, thank you.
Can I,
Anybody else?
can I just add on to her, can we have copies of those before a board meeting so we're not sitting here and getting blindsided?
Sure,
Please.
I'm just,
Thank you.
I think I just sent off, yeah, we've got it.
Yes, sir.
Randy Bauer, resident. I'd like to circle back to the golf course. What interest do you guys, as a board, have in the golf course? Let me ask it a different way, because you won't answer me. How many of you have been out to the golf course to look at Deer Runs greens? 3 of you. Okay, and 3 out of 4? You, I guess, don't care about golf.
I live on the golf course, but
Okay, but you don't live on turf,
no,
or you live on turf?
absolutely not.
Okay, thank you. So why do we not hear anything about the problems with a $600,000 investment that the board made last year? You guys all sit up there and say how we're for you guys. I want more information. I want to be told when we go to Advent Help. How come you don't bring me into this stuff? It's all information, information, information. And yet you don't care about a $600,000 investment
Oh, I
that
don't
is
think
going
it-
away.
I don't think that's
Well,
correct at all,
but
Randy.
you worked on golf courses many
I've built
times.
many, I've
Have
built
any of
many
your
golf
golf
courses,
courses had
7.
this much trouble in 2 years?
Yeah.
That you worked on? You lost greens in 2 years after
One time.
after
One
replacing
time.
them?
One time, yes.
And what did you guys do about it?
You live,
What did you do about it?
I
asked me a
redid the greens again, and I did not have a drought of 68 days. I did not live in Florida. I lost them in West Virginia. I did not live in
Okay, so what you're
Florida.
saying is but what are you doing today about anything? Have we discussed Troon and what they're doing? Have you discussed what our general manager's doing on the golf course?
Why would I
Have
do
you
that?
discussed what our superintendent's doing? Have you discussed it with Boz?
I have talked to Boz about it, but
Doesn't it upset you?
I have faith in Jimmy and what his process is. This was out of Jimmy's hands. When your
Really?
aquifer in Florida dries up we're not the only ones on sand that have this problem. I'm sorry, I have more knowledge. I know, and I trust what our
So,
green
so,
sweeper is
so
doing.
we really just started having this problem 4 years ago. I'm not going to argue with you. All I'm saying is that as a board, please get involved in the golf course. Since you became president, we have not heard one word on the golf course because you ran on that you weren't going to do anything for the golf course. You ran on that. You voted no on everything. I just think that there's something's got to be done because for 4 years in a row, we have not been able to play on that course 12 months out of the year. That's why I came to Florida. That's why most of the people out there playing came to Florida, so they could play golf 12 months a year.
You can play golf 12 months a year.
You can't.
You can.
So you played on sand greens before.
Yes, I have.
That's sad. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's not needed. Yes, ma'am.
Jennifer Monroe, 3318 Sunrise Drive. I've been here longer than Mr. Bauer. I came here in 2013 when Kitson was here, and we had 2 pristine golf courses. Casper came in within a year. We had 1. Ever since I've been here, we have had some good times where both golf courses look great. We've had some bad times where they didn't look good. We have one or the other. We're fortunate to have 2 golf courses. I lived at PGA National for 13 years with 5 golf courses, $40,000 a year. Initiation, $20,000 a year in assessments. Never in 1 year did we have all 5 golf courses pristine. We always had 1 or 2 distressed. In the summer, we had 3 or 4 distressed. So I'm wondering why in the world, well, I know why, because of my business, we always have 20% of the population that are never going to find anything right about anything. So as I sit in the golf club and I listen to all the problems on Deer, which happens to be my favorite course, I don't hear how beautiful Turtle is. The same guy and crew is working on Turtle that's doing Deer. So my question is, do you think he walks across the street with the crew and they forget everything they know? They forget all of their skills? They're not using their budget? So unfortunately, golf courses are outside. We don't have control over everything that happens to a golf course. If we could have them inside, that would be great, but they're not. And I listen to this day after day. The 20% never can find a good thing. Oh, one of the pieces of salmon was dry out of 200. A steak was too small out of 80. So these people, unfortunately, the 20%, are the most vocal because you know how marketing says, if you have one bad customer, he'll spread it 20 times. You have 20 good customers, they're so happy living their lives, they don't bother to say how good things are. But I, for one, think this community has never looked better. It's never felt better. We've never had a better restaurant. We've never had better golf services, staff. We have the best trained staff I've seen in years. And I just want to say, for one, that I think we're doing a great job. I know Troon is big. We're little on their totem pole, but we still get a lot of benefit from their scale of what they can accomplish. So I just want people to be aware it would be nice once in a while to say something good. And if you'd been here more than 4 years, you would have seen the big changes we've had. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to rebuttal on that a little bit. First of all, I never said fire Jimmy.
Can't hear you.
I never said to fire Jimmy. I asked you four to get more involved in what's going on out there. Maybe Jimmy needs more staff. Maybe Boz needs more money for, we're not a $1.5 million outfit. We should be $2.5 million according to the USGA when they came out. Did you guys read that report? That's what it said. Maybe Jimmy's practices need to be different in order because we have sand greens. I'm just asking you four to get involved. We only had one member on this board last year that supported the golf course and spoke out loudly about it. So what I'm saying is now we got no voice. And I just think, I'm not recognizing that I've only been here 4 years. I know a bad green and I know a good green. I lived on a golf course in California for 25 freaking years. We never lost all of our greens. We were on red clay and rock. We never lost all of our greens. What I'm saying is give him the support or give Boz the support so we can make the changes to make this course pristine as we want to say it is, because it is not pristine. And Turtle, yeah, it looks beautiful, but we overseeded it, so now it's too long.
Well, wait until May.
So what do we got to do about that?
Be happy. I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
I apologize.
I didn't hear
I'm
you.
sorry. I apologize.
I mean, just don't take it personally. I'm trying to do what's good. I'm trying to speak what's good for the golf course. I don't get anything out of this. All I get is a golf course that I want to play. And I tell you, when somebody said 20%, I don't know where they came up with that. I'm at that golf course every day. I tell you what, you got a lot of Canadians right now ready to not come back. So that's all I'm saying.
Any other public comment?
John Hunter, resident. I'll try to be quick on the foreclosed properties. Probably Boz, you can probably answer this mostly, but the board elected to show the 280 or 300,000 as prepared to pay for the past taxes. I think they voted unanimously for that. So is it your intention then on the budget to show the 900,000 as a credit and the 300,000 as a debit, showing 1.2 million as a credit and 300,000 as a debit, showing that we owe 900,000, or move that from our reserves? That should be a line item on our budget.
You're exactly right. So we do have a line item for payment of taxes currently. If that decision is made at the next meeting, then it'll drive another budget amendment where I will adjust accordingly that line item. Yes, sir.
Show it as an exposure.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And then is it I know it's in lawsuits or legals involved on that. Isn't it also possible that that can be waived past taxes? The answer is yes, with the right lawyers and the right legal accommodation. It can be. It can be. It's an option. You can show it as liability still. You can show, like you said, Mike, and the board, you showed the 300,000 going to offset that. We still should show the exposure of 900,000. I wouldn't pay it yet, but I would wait till after legal is done with their action. But it is possible that it can be waived. And then if that happens, then we move the 300,000 to wherever the board or the budget decides. I don't know. I would wait till legal is done. But anyways, is the vacant land then become available, Boz, once it's all settled?
We have vacant land that the district still owns, that we would continue to own. We're not going to divest from that. I'm not understanding what vacant land. We already got rid of Unit 12 land.
Can I buy it?
Every parcel since the Unit 12 departure every parcel we have right now is for a district purpose currently.
Yeah.
For either our utilities or
Okay.
our future development.
Okay.
So we do not have a bucket of, hey, come, we got land for sale. We don't do that, so.
Okay. Thanks. Second question is the banquet room. Again, our charter, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't show golf as an entity, doesn't show the restaurant as an entity. It shows it together, right? Does the banquet room then become part of the golf and restaurant, or is it a standalone item?
It's the intent I have is in addition to the clubhouse feature. So it becomes part of that entity.
So it becomes part of the entity.
Yeah.
So the revenue, the losses,
Yep.
all roll up into one.
We would drop down another line. We have a banquet
Yeah.
accounting line now. We would
Yep.
drop down a different line for the expenses against that.
Yep.
Right now, we only have expenses against the restaurant.
Yeah. And then I loved your chart, Boz, where the left-hand side shows what we do and then what the county does. And if you're going into negotiations, not that I have any security issues or any concerns that I'm aware of, but I really think the board thinking today and maybe perhaps thinking of the future is revamping our entire, this is not a dig, revamping our whole security group. And what I mean by that
Excuse
is,
me, sir, but your time is expired, Mr. President.
I'll give you about another minute.
yeah, I don't need long. It's just a consideration that, our security, if perhaps they could negotiate that away and we have our own security in reference to it. I mean, don't take this bad, but has a gun, can write citations, can really control and manage our roads, and it may be worth a pretty good investment. Not just thinking about today, but thinking 5 and 10 years down the road. My last comment is, I read the policies. I like, this may be a negative, I like the fact that landowners could elect the president, the vice president. I liked it, I read it, I saw it. It is what it says, but it just, whatever if the policy gets changed, I would certainly support it. But as a landowner, I thought that was pretty credible. Thanks.
Thank you.
I wanted to go back to the restaurant and the, not making the money and things like that. During the candidate debate, there was several young people that were here, so I'll make this short and sweet. We could do more with that restaurant and everything if it would just stay open longer. I mean, an event from 4:30 to 6:30, people haven't even gotten home from work yet. If it would stay open later, I'll use as an example, the month that you did the karaoke thing, I went up there, I spoke to many of the waiters, the staff and everything, and they were thrilled to death. They were making money for that night. And they shut it down when they're making money. And even if they just put in like a DJ or something, offer something on the weekends for the young families that were here and said out loud with the candidate debates that they have to go out of town because there's no place for them to go to, dance or enjoy an evening. I'm not saying we need to have a drunken brouhaha, but we all live out here, don't have one foot in the grave, but are still obviously very active, and not just about golf, but we're active in other things. We're using our other things, our walking paths, our pools and everything. But there is money to be made with that restaurant by leaving it open longer, lessening the menu, cut it off, and have Friday, Saturday for music things. There's many things that can be done to restructure it, and then they'll start showing a profit. But right now, they're catering to one demographic that can be there during that time frame, and we are way past that demographic with 13,000 residents now. Thank you.
Thank you.
One add-on to that, and we've discussed this, probably in the late February to March timeframe. He's been tasked with a beta test, I'm calling it, that Mike, clubhouse manager. He's been tasked with what I'm calling a beta test, that there's going to be about a 2-week period where we want to keep our clubhouse open to 10 o'clock and maybe later. He's working on the staffing, he's working on all the support structure for that, and we're working on the marketing plan to get that message out. Because there's no effort for us to do that, and no one comes from 8 to 10. So I'm with you 110% on that, man. We just got to build the structure to support it, have the right staff, and be able to offer that, and then get the word out that people know about it and come. And then after that beta test, then I'm able to assess, is this something that needs to be recurring, or was it just for periods of time? So totally understand, and we are working that way. Yep.
Okay, just to piggyback
Yep.
off of that is, I don't know that 2 weeks is going to do it. Because we have families that are here just happened upon today
Yes, ma'am.
by accident. So I don't know that a 2-week period is actually feasible beta test.
Yep.
But I really think that we have something here. It's a beautiful facility, and there could be so much more.
I got you.
52 years ago, there was a lot.
Sure. Yep.
Hey, anybody else?
I'd like to expand upon what Rhonda said as well. I was told by some of our Canadian friends that this past weekend actually, there were 14 Canadian friends that wanted to have dinner at the restaurant, and they were turned away because they didn't have a reservation. They, in turn, went over to another restaurant and spent $800 there. I think that perhaps something should be done about accommodating people that don't have reservations. Maybe open up the back facility, the banquet facility. It would be a good idea. But just don't turn people away. We can't afford that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep. Appreciate that. And I'm sure he's taking notes.
Anybody else? I'd like to remind everybody and thank you for all coming, but if anybody out in the audience hasn't voted yet, you got 15 minutes. Boz, you have anything else?
That's all I got, sir.
Okay. What we'll do is end the meeting, right? And wait till.
Yeah, we're done business. Other than discussion amongst yourselves, you
Yeah.
can gavel out this, we seal this business, and then at 11 o'clock, and then I'll get one of our people to be a chairman for the landowners. We'll start the landowner meeting.
Do you want me to just have a motion to just,
We get ready to adjourn, but you got to have discussion
and
amongst yourselves.
are we going to come back or is it?
We're going to come back at 11 o'clock, sir. 11 o'clock, we go live with the landowner meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we have to, are we sitting on?
You guys are sitting over there now.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
but are we going to come back after the landowner?
No, sir. If you adjourn the meeting, we're done our business. Everything that we needed to get done, we got done.
Okay. Follow up on items or new business, anything?
Is there anything you guys want to focus on for 2 weeks from now? I know we talked taxes. I got that.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
We
anybody
talked
has something you
policy
want to.
changes. I got
policy
that.
changes.
Yes.
And
Please
make sure
get
we
the
get a
charters-
draft
the
first.
Charters to us.
Got it.
Okay. Is there any discussion to and from the board?
Been ethics training, and they said that it was permissible to speak to other boards, that it wasn't a violation. So what we're hearing here today is different from that. So I would like to maybe check into that, and, but we were told we have the right to speak to other boards, would include the county, and so we don't want to do the wrong thing. We want to have a clarity there. Thank you.
Expand on that in February. Okay. Yeah, we got it, sir. We'll expand on that in February.
Yeah, there's so many things like that that we,
Yes, sir. I understand.
I mean, I knew Scott Kirak a long time, and I've known Mr. Roberts a long time, and way before I was a.
Just to be clear on
and I
that,
have
for the
I have a
board,
relationship with him.
Oh, yes, sir. I totally understand.
we can speak to them as a citizen,
Sure.
not as a board member. And carrying the full weight of the board. As a citizen, you can. Just
I
don't
think that's the
say,
clarity.
this is Supervisor Phillips, blah, 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 blah. Just say Beverly Phillips, resident.
You got it. That's the clarification. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? Okay, thank you for coming. Meeting adjourned.
All right, we stay here and we'll just get two people up front there, myself and a chair.